Three friends, one amazing series of YA novels, an insatiable thirst to relive the glory that is K.A. Applegate's literary masterpiece. This is Animorphs, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles.
Hello and welcome to The Speaking Tree, a Dork-Bajir podcast where we read through the Animorphs series one book at a time, then talk about it every week. Today we'll be taking a deeper dive into Animorphs number 31, The Conspiracy, the book we read last week. My name is Mikhail, the host.
I'm Tessa, the expert.
And I'm Braden, the bad connection.
Yeah, pretty accurate. First, let's jump into some...
Fanmail! Ooh, yeah! Fanmail! Ooh, yeah!
First piece of Fanmail comes from @PrinceOfFresh on Twitter, who posted a picture of the Animorphs board game, the Invasion game, it's called, and it says, played this bad boy the other day, Visser 3 and the Candrona Ray were no match.
Yeah,
this game
Hell yeah.
looks terrible. I don't know. It looks like Chutes and Ladders or something.
It looks like very bad. But I still want to play it.
Hit up @PrinceOfFresh if you want a game night with your bros.
Yeah,
Next
buddy.
Next piece of Fanmail comes from classic Fanmail contributor @BlurredCGE, who says, so, has the fandom come to a consensus that the faculty, in quotes, was at least some bit inspired by Animorphs? And in brackets he says slug aliens, teenagers, etc. And then we had a good discussion about it, actually. Greg, a patron, Greg Delaposta, reminded me that he had told me about it. And I'm thinking maybe we could do like a Animorphs inspired watching party at my house.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Let's do it.
You're all invited. Every single person who listens to this episode, you're invited. My address is insert Tessa's address here. Okay.
You're also all invited over to my house because I actually want to hang out with my fans.
One guy DM'd me and he's like, I want to kill Tessa if I only knew her address.
Okay, never mind. I mean, that sounds believable enough. That never mind.
Okay, let's move on to our first segment.
Animorphs.
So this is a segment where we diagnose an issue in the book and try to find a more creative and effective solution. The question I came up with was, what would be a more effective way to protect Jake's father in the situation that presented itself in Animorphs number 31, which is the book we read last week? Here's some caveats. I know we said we could use the chi if they helped in the book that we read, but I think it's fair to say that we can't use the chi as you can't just be like, Jake's Tom is now a chi hologram.
Oh, well, no, because then, I actually just had that thought, but then the real Tom and his Yerk would be like, what do you mean? I wasn't with you all weekend. And Jake's dad is like, oh, you were. That just blows it all wide open.
I think we can use the chi as support, but not as direct players in the solution. The other thing is we can't kill Tom and we can't kill his Yerk. And just like Jake, we can't reveal that the Andalite bandits or Animorphs are involved in any way, shape, or form. And same goes for the chi. The chi cannot be revealed to be involved.
Oh man, I was just gonna drop the distraction to be like, yo, aliens exist on Earth, and then nobody would care about a funeral because they would be worried about that.
That might cause some other problems, though, if you think about it.
No, but for real, I don't know. Mikhail, what was your idea?
I didn't really have a straight-up solution for this. I think, obviously a priority is, if the Yerks are trying to kill your dad, you need to do something more than stand out front on the lawn with a hose pointed in every direction. You need to get him safe. So I think a good solution might be calling in some kind of terrorist or bomb threat to the place where Jake's dad works.
I love how most of Animorphs ER involves bombs.
Listen, man, we can use bombs. It's not against the rules of the Animorphs, but also
Never. Plus, we've got the cookbook. Let's cook.
Yeah, it's Dork-Bajir canon that Braden owns the Anarchist cookbook. So,
well, everybody owns the Anarchist cookbook
because it lives in our heart.
Actually, it's just free online as a PDF.
Oh.
I was thinking we break Tom's leg way earlier. we kind of talked about this last week, but like to go more into detail, like, okay, let's kidnap Chapman as a bluff effect, and then Tom is wandering around looking for him, stumbles in his searching, and as we say in the business, bada bing, bada boom. Now Yuck's got a broken leg, and now he can't go to his grandpa's funeral. It's all good.
Yeah, just morph like some school bullies and just like throw him off a bridge.
Also, I want everyone to know that in the notes, Tessa has written, as we say in the business, bada bing, bada boom. That was not off the cuff. She wrote that with every intention of saying it.
I thought it was so nice, I had to say it twice. Also, if you become a patron, you could read our show notes, and you get to read more of our great jokes that we never say out loud.
Actually, the speaking tree notes are so pathetically like bad and inaccurate. It's kind of a problem. What you didn't say is how would you break Tom's leg?
I mean, human bones break pretty easily.
Yeah, but like, what, you're gonna walk up to him and kick his leg out? Like,
no, but like, so you kidnap Chapman. Everybody's looking for him. Maybe, oh, there's a free Dork-Bajir in the distance, but only Tom sees it. And he's gonna go investigate and to be the big hero. And he dies. No, I'm just kidding, but he does get his leg broken.
but how? How does he get his leg broken?
Oh my god, you gotta get me. This is where the Animorphs come in, and Marco, with the bright clear line, thinks from A to B and comes up with the idea.
We can't have an animal break his leg, because then it'll be obvious that it's the Andalates.
But if Tom is away, okay, what if Chapman is kidnapped, and then people are looking for him, and then there's a skirmish, there's a fight, and the human controllers get knocked out. And then while Tom is knocked out, his leg gets broken, leaving Tom's basketball careers in the dust for good.
Oh, yeah, fuck. How fucked is Tom's, like... I mean, I guess he was already in the sharing, he gave it up, like, there might not be any going back, but like, yeah, shit. Tom's leg is fucked up. Is he ever coming back?
What if you morphed Michael Jordan and you're like, I heard about this Tom kid who lives in blank, redacted town, and I want to offer him like a serious, very important scholarship.
That's
but he
definitely
has to
not
meet
one
me.
with gambling money.
What if you frame Tom and he has to be in school suspended all weekend?
Yeah, so they won't let him go to his grandpa's funeral. That's a hell of a frame.
He's framed for murder.
And so the punishment is detention.
Hijinks, you know?
They found a Nazi knife in his locker, so they gave him detention.
Maybe I'm too close to this, but I also don't have any good ideas, and I empathize with Jake. Like, I sympathize with Jake. Like, man, it's hard to think of good ideas that save your brother and your dad.
Well, let's think outside the box. Like, why do we have to hurt Tom at all? Why not just remove the dad from the situation?
Why harm Tom at all? Why not just morph your grandpa and pretend you never died?
Here you go. You forge a letter from Grandpa G saying, I know I'm dying. I hope people have fun at my funeral, and you play the good old songs. Also, I never want to see my bastard grandson Tom at my funeral. If he comes within 8 hours of my funeral, I'm haunting this family forever.
So in his will, he calls out Tom for literally no reason.
For being a piece of shit, and they're like, okay, fuck.
And you know that Nazi knife I have? Don't let him fucking touch it, ever.
I should have Nazi killed Tom a long time ago.
And then Jake's dad and mom are there at the will hearing this, and they're like, oh no, I did not see that coming.
Okay. I genuinely think that the bomb threat thing might actually work. Like, just hindering them from going in a weird way. Like, Jake and Tom have the same interest at heart here. Is like, just don't go. Right?
I mean, I think Jake actually wants to go because Jake liked his Grandpa G.
Cool. I'm pretty sure Jake doesn't want to like put his dad's life in risk just to go to a funeral.
Also,
though.
Yes, that's fair.
Yeah. He's not like, oh man, Grandpa G, just fuck dad. Like, if he dies, I don't give a shit, but I need to go to that funeral.
Maybe Jake just loves going to funerals.
Maybe he acquires dead bodies. It's not stealing.
Oh my god. What if they get David to morph Grandpa G? Bring David back, have him permamorph this old man. Surprise, Grandpa G didn't die after all.
What if the Nazi soldier that Grandpa G took the knife from was actually David having used the time matrix with Visor 4?
God.
And just go do Nazi shit.
No, Grandpa G. G short for Jake. It was Jake. It was his own Grandpa G.
Gake. Jake with a G.
Listen, do you say GIF or GIF?
What the fuck?
So we're just like, we got nothing here? Like, I really do think that causing some kind of disturbance on a social level that would stop them from going to the funeral.
That might be the easiest, and like you say, it will draw the least suspicion that, oh no, why is Jake's dad being targeted? Oh, like the hospital has some, or the doctor's clinic has some kind of terrorist thing. But it's very outside of the Animorphs flavor town, but like, that's never stopped us before.
But okay, here's the other problem. What if his dad doesn't get to the funeral, and so therefore Tom and Jake don't go, but then later they're like, listen, we missed the funeral, we gotta go up and visit.
For like 5 days.
For like 3, 4, or 5 days. Yeah. So that puts us in the same situation. So maybe it is in our best interest to get Tom to come. I didn't mean to say it like that.
I think what they really need to do is go back to book 30 and steal Visser 1's portable Kandrona ray.
Yeah, that was sort of a thing that we just like glossed over, but that was like...
Or just force feed Tom some maple and ginger oatmeal.
Yeah.
No, because that hurts the host, too.
Oh, it does. But, like, What choice do we have?
Well, I mean, breaking his leg.
Oh, my God. I just had a horrible idea.
All right.
Okay. Yerk bust the Yerk pool. Somehow. Steal a couple of little Yerks. We go up for the funeral. Secretly chop up Yerks and put them in Tom's food. He thinks he's gonna die of Kandrona starvation, but he doesn't. I wonder why. Maybe I'm just a super powerful Yerk, and now we can survive 4 days.
But that won't stop him from killing his dad.
No, but then you have, like, dolphins in the lake, and it's fine.
Okay, listen. If it was me, and it was my brother, and I knew he was also an enemy combatant on some level, I would just kill him. This is way too complicated.
You can't kill him. It's like one of the rules. Because it says cannot kill Tom.
Let's be fucking real for 2 seconds, though. You give me a tiger morph and a boy, a child in my way, I'll rip that fucking kid to shreds. I'll fucking do it. I won't care.
Okay, so let's lay out our solutions here just to get our heads like around this here. I think one main solution, or at least one part of the solution, is keep Jake's dad way safer leading up to the trip, right? Do you disagree with that?
No, we definitely have to keep him safer. Using the chief for that will definitely help, and also stop Jake's, like, sense of weird thing where he doesn't want to owe his, like, have his friends feel bad for him, so he sends them away, so he's the only one doing surveillance.
I think also doing it at work is good, because then it's not like Jake's house has a bomb threat called to it. It's like, no, a hospital is like a place that you would call a bomb threat to, right? Or even an office complex.
Even a doctor's clinic, yeah.
Just have, like, a dumb southern enough accent and say, like, I'm gonna stop the abortions there. And, like, even if they don't do abortions, they'll think, yeah.
What are you trying to say? Like, we have listeners in the South, you know that, right?
Well, I hope they don't feel strongly about abortions one way or the other.
Okay.
Like, nobody's like, well, I never. You think not liking abortions is bad? Or, like, anyone's like, how dare you? Abortions are beyond mocking. They're the coolest thing ever.
Okay, that's fair. Anyways, back to the solutions. We have to... Okay, do you agree that we have to get Tom to go on the trip? Otherwise, it's just going to cause another trip later?
I feel like Tom has to... I feel like there's no way to get Tom out of the trip without him being, like, in some kind of, like, in the hospital.
But the other thing is, like, once he goes, it's like, oh, Tom's gone. He's fulfilled whatever familial duty he has to do. Then he has to come back to the city, and they're not like, oh, Tom should come visit No, it's like Tom already visited Grandma. He just broke his leg, right? Like we've completed the circle of visiting exchanges here.
What we do is we get Tom to step on a rusty knife. Uh-oh, he hasn't had his tetanus shot. Medevac away.
Uh-oh. Nazi tetanus.
It's like super tetanus, but like bitchier.
So your plan is to get him to step on a rusty knife. I mean, I feel like a rusty nail would be fine, yeah.
I said nail, but like a knife is works too.
You need to do something. Yeah, like the only thing that's gonna do it is making it so that he can't move. So like, it's probably gonna have to be like something really fucked up. Like giving him tetanus on his foot. Or like giving him something full on flesh eating. You know what I mean?
I think the thing I'm realizing as we try to solve this is like, actually their solution was pretty good. If not a bit risky. Like I think him going is actually like really important because it eliminates the need to go later, but also them hurting him in a dramatic enough fashion that he would have to get sent back to town. Because if you give him food poisoning, or even if you just like cut him somehow, it's like, you'll be fine. Like just here.
Just put a Band-Aid on it and buck up, kiddo. Yeah, it has to be something that the medevac is called that we can have it be like, oh, it's the chi.
If we're being real too, like medevac for a broken leg, it's pretty fucking stupid. Like
that's because the ambulance couldn't get there in time. Not on those twisty mountain roads.
You could drive them. I mean, a broken leg's not going to kill you, but
this one almost did.
No, it didn't.
That's the thing, is that it almost did.
I think it needs to be more severe than a broken leg.
I was just listening, actually, to a podcast, Occulte Veritatis. They did one about the murder of Dee Dee Blanchard, and they talked about a couple of cases of Munchausen's by proxy, and one that I just thought about that would be really easy to replicate and keep Tom, like, from, moving is, well, you gotta inject poop in him.
Inject poop?
Yeah, just, like, get some poop in some saline solution and put
God.
it in his veins in his sleep, and it'll give him an intestinal infection that like he has to stay in the hospital or else his fucking intestines will explode.
Oh my God, how long would that take though?
We don't want to kill Tom.
Just like put some poop in a syringe and then put it in him. I don't think like if you have enough poop, I don't think it'll take more than a day to get him, backed up enough.
The other thing also is like, how many people, like, what are the symptoms? Like, are the symptoms immediately like you look like you're dying? Or is it like, oh, you have like flu-like or gastrointestinal symptoms for a while? Like, do you know what I mean? It has to be something like immediately apparent.
I mean, imagine if you didn't shit for a couple days. Do you think you would like look like it? I think it would show if I didn't shit for a few days.
But we also have to consider, like, Tom is also going to be actively working to murder Jake's dad this whole time.
Unless we properly, get him, like...
Okay, here's a thought. Figure out what I guess Cassie would come into play here. Figure out what the local fauna is like at the lake house. Pick the most dangerous morph.
Moose,
yeah. Actually, moose is like such a good morph. I don't know why they didn't get a moose. But anyways, hard to acquire, I guess. But morph a moose, and then, or even, I don't know, if a bear seems unlikely, but you could get Jake to corroborate this somehow by like, oh, fuck, I left my cooler with my sandwiches in it outside.
Oh, damn, I left my cooler with my syringes full of poop.
And then a moose attacks Tom, right? Because then it's like, oh, this is something that like actually could happen. Doesn't necessarily imply anything. I think it is dangerous to have like any animal attacking Tom. is a little suspicious, I guess. So it would have to be set up in a way that's like really clearly like could happen to anyone kind of thing. Even a bird, like, oh, I left all my fish guts on the dock, Tom, and then an osprey comes and like rakes his eyes trying to get the fish guts.
I mean, but Tom has seen a lot of those birds. If like some kind of bird shows up, he's like, that's an Andalite bandit in morph. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've seen a lot of animals, I guess. They're kind of suspicious of all of them, so...
I feel like Jake has to be there, and it has to be like maybe Jake invites Tom out hiking or something, and to like help his mood or something. And so then there's a wild animal freak attack. Jake is saved, quote unquote, but that's because it's an Andalite morph.
Well, I think they kind of already did a good job. I mean, minus the miscommunication between the team, I guess, or lack of communication.
And I feel like Cassie could have figured out a way to break the dock without
turning into a whale.
Being a whale.
I feel like dolphins could break the dock.
Right? Like, just have three dolphins go at it.
I think the other problem is that, like, this wasn't a plan. This was like a reaction. And if it was planned out, it would be a lot harder to actually execute on properly. Because it's like, turn into a whale and, like, drown Jake's dad almost by accident and then kill his brother. Like, there's so many things that could have gone wrong.
What if, like, the actual mountain dolphins, like, start attacking them territory-wise?
There are no mountain dolphins, Tessa.
That's what you think. That's what the government wants you to think.
Ugh.
Do you not believe in mountain dolphins?
Next thing you know, you won't believe in mountain shrimp. Ugh.
Okay, here's our solution. I think it's really just fixing a small problem and not really overhauling the whole thing. I think the lead up to them leaving, and they do have to leave altogether, needs to make Jake's dad a bit safer. So you need to do something that would protect him during the day, so you don't have to morph a cockroach and follow him, or like spray people with hoses or something. Even if it's like, I think a bomb threat is okay during the day, but then maybe something that would require like police escort or something out after, like, oh, I'm going to kill all the doctors in the hospital. You know what I mean? And then Jake's dad and the other doctors would require
for doing abortions.
Would require a little bit more attention. So at least that would solve the problem of protecting him before they leave. I do think Tom does have to leave, because otherwise, if he doesn't leave, he'll be obligated to go later. At least there's a good chance that his parents would keep asking him to go later. While if he didn't go, it would still buy him some time to infest his parents. Jake would still be looking, and it just seems like it's a whole nightmare thing, right? So it would be, the best solution is for him to go, but call it short. Our potential solutions for hurting Tom so that he gets medevaced out is have him step on a nail. No, that's bad.
Inject him with poop.
I think an open wound is like critical. The threat of blood loss is a pretty real thing that people are like, call a fucking helicopter to get this guy out of here.
Yeah.
An internal injury, like breaking a leg, breaking a leg's pretty visual, I guess. But at the same time, a lot of people think you could just like drive someone with a broken leg, I think. Whereas if he's got like a wound that you have to put a fucking compress on, then that's just, it's a lot easier to buy a helicopter coming all the way out. I personally think getting an animal that's native to the area hurt Tom in a dangerous way is a lot less dangerous in terms of potential failure. Like the dock thing wasn't even really a plan. That was just Animorphs universe luck, really.
Yeah.
So Jake has to be there when Tom gets hurt. Regardless of how he gets hurt, Jake has to be there. And the reason why an animal would approach has to be something real. So Jake and Cassie or whoever, everybody could collaborate on this and be like, okay, what's the most dangerous animal in the area? And what are the things that humans might attract? Like even a coyote, right? Like anything that could give you rabies even is a potential animal.
Oh man, that's a good idea.
Especially if you have to drive 8 hours, like that's not okay. You don't want to drive someone who potentially has rabies for 8 hours.
Like you have to get them the vaccine like super fast before they start showing symptoms.
Jake's dad is a doctor, so he would probably know that anyways, right? And then the same thing, we could do the same thing we did in the books. She get called to medevac out Tom. I think that's not bad.
I think that's not bad.
Yeah. It's a lot less tense, but it's also a lot more effective.
And if we have this plan before they even go up for the weekend, so we're prepared for it.
And that is a huge That is a huge
Like, that's
improvement.
the biggest improvement.
Yeah, because they don't acknowledge how fucking lucky they were. Like, there's so many multiverses where this went wrong. Now for our next segment.
Everyday Animorphs.
Everyday now.
In this segment, we try to tackle an everyday situation that did or might have happened in this book. All the normal rules of morphing apply. No morphing humans, especially. The situation for this week is, how would you use morphing to help you deal with the death of a loved one? The caveats are, it's not an immediate family member or like a super close friend or anything. It's like, you need to have a similar relationship to this person as that Jake had to Grandpa G. So like someone that they have fond memories of, but don't see every day or talk to a lot, right?
Yeah. It's like, you know, like a distant grandparent or something.
So how would you guys use morphing?
I would probably, like, if one of the family members, like, so Jake's mom is the one who's related to Grandpa G, right? So someone who's close to the deceased person, who is maybe believes in signs or something as a way to help them grieve or process this. Maybe morph like their, like, the grandpa's favorite bird or something, and be a sign to help bring peace. Like, oh, look there's this Grandpa G always loved bald eagles, and there's this bald eagle wandering around at his wake. Like, that means something. I think he's looking out after us.
For some reason, I expected Brayden to like do a very quiet bald eagle scream in the background, like very majestic. Nice. Fucking epic. Grandpa G loves that shit.
If I get really bummed out, because I tend to do that, just like morph a dog in my own spare time, just to like fill up on some happy vibes.
Just morph a dog, you fucking loser. Morph a dog.
Come on, Jake, just morph a dog.
So I have a few like pretty specific ways of helping or dealing with the death of a loved one. First of all, during the procession, fucking scope out traffic, buddy. See where the jams are. Maybe even cause an accident in a way that benefits the procession.
What? That's so drastic.
Also, you could dig a grave really cheaply by morphing an animal that can dig big holes.
Yeah, I'd just like to note that you specified in the notes something that could dig a hole like a sloth.
I think
those big
Mikhail was
claws.
thinking of the giant sloths that used to live, that would dig the great big tunnels in South America. As we all know, current day sloths don't dig shit.
Digging fact, the gorillas of Western Europe actually created the channel.
But also, Kay, that whole idea, both of those ideas, Mikhail, like, break one of the Animorph rules where you don't reveal your powers. Like, what, they show up, they're like, wow, we just had like a really easy drive to the gravesite. Also, wow, the grave is already dug. Who dug it? It looks like it was dug by a sloth.
Yeah, there's just dirt strewn everywhere, and it's only like 2 feet deep.
It's like 2 feet deep and like 7 feet, like in an oval shape, and they're like, okay, someone fucked up this
And
ground.
in one area, there's like a bunch of dirt in a like bed type shape where I clearly took a nap halfway through. Okay, no, my serious answer is that I would probably morph like, it's not unlike your answer, Tessa, in that, like, because you're going more for, like, symbology or, like, you know, otherworldly signs and stuff. I would do more like a cute thing where, like, morph a dog or, like, a stray dog, if you want to call it that, but a cute stray dog. And, like, you know how when wild or even other people's animals are super nice to you, you're just like, oh, fuck, I am the chosen one. Like, I am the best. So if I had any family members that were like seriously down, which obviously they would, some of them would be, I would just like show up as this like sick dog, not sick, but like sick in a cool way dog,
Yeah.
and be like, yeah, you're okay. Like you're some good shit. You're good people.
My thing I have written down is pretty straightforward. I didn't like, I haven't been like helping anybody in mine. Sorry.
It's fine.
I'm kind of focused on me. I would just like fly really fast, like all the fucking time. Cause like, that's just a way I cope with things sometimes. And in real life, when you just like, the only way to really do that is with a car that's not safe. And so it'd be much better if I could just, like, you know, just fly around as a peregrine falcon instead of endangering my life as I have done in the past.
I get that. And I actually do think that, like, on a personal level, flying, well, we'll get more into that in the next section, sure, but, like, flying must be therapeutic on some level for, like, any human, really.
Mm-hmm.
Got anything to add to that, Tessa, or should we move on?
No, I think that's good. I think we did it.
Our next segment is...
My life,
my morph.
In this segment, we decide on what the best use of the main morph in this book would be in our own lives. So, how would you guys use a peregrine falcon morph in your own life for purely personal reasons?
I mean, I'd probably walk around easier because peregrine falcons are like so fast, y'all.
What are you talking about? It's like fucking Roadrunner?
I'd go for a walk down the street and buy some handbags, Mikhail. That's what birds do.
Oh my God.
No, but like for real, flying, right? Like we'd fly, right?
I would fly till it went out of style.
Wow.
Wow.
Brayden, is that your answer?
I'd fly till I come.
Would happen a lot, probably.
Also, like the days that you don't want to cook, you can just like morph a bird and eat some mice. Hell yeah. Because that's easier than cooking.
I'd eat something bigger than a mouse.
You're a peregrine falcon. I saw one at the museum last weekend. They are not big.
I'd still, I mean, what bigger than a mouse is expecting a peregrine falcon? And also I have a human brain. I could fuck up literally anything I wanted.
You're not like a bullet. You're still a little bird with breakable bones.
But I have claws.
You do have a beak. The beak is made of titanium. No, sorry, vibranium.
Wakanda forever.
Okay, I thought you could make, like,
Wakanda
you know how they have those videos
forever.
on, like, the falconers put GoPros on the back of their, like, falcons?
Oh my god,
they
that would
fuck
be so
around?
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
buddy, monetize that shit. Like, just make, like, the sickest thing, and, like, they could even have, like, jokes in them where you, like, dive bomb, like, prank falcon videos. Yeah, man, I would totally do
Go
that.
in volcanoes. Fart on babies.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, I asked the internet what they would use a peregrine falcon morph for, and we got a fuckload of answers. So, I'm sorry if I don't mention yours, but I do appreciate the responses. I had to, like, categorize these because there were so many answers. So, a lot of people said transportation. So, like, at Writing Callus on Twitter, let's be real, I'd use a peregrine falcon morph if I didn't feel like driving or walking somewhere.
Ooh.
Weapons Grade Humanity from Instagram says, I'd fly home from the bar, which is questionable in its own right, because I'm not sure flying drunk is,
But would you still be drunk? Because your human body is the one that has all the alcohol. This is an interesting question. Would your consciousness be drunk?
I don't know. Maybe your alcohol goes to Z-space? I don't fucking know. It's a stupid question.
Okay, Mariah Wamsgans says, my sister said she would lay an egg just to see what it feels like.
Yes.
Oh.
Another category of things that people wanted to do was just like straight up vigilante justice.
Nice.
Classic at Movie Polls just says straight up, dive bomb all the bad guys, peck their eyes out.
Nice.
Which is,
nice.
Yeah, a lot of people, though, thought this was a good idea. At Gay Klaus on Instagram said, I'd dive bomb rocks onto people that littered cigarette butts.
Hell yeah.
At Mute Banshee D3 says, I would use Peregrine Falcon morph to float above parking lots and take dive bombs at people parking in more than one space. The thing is, the small slights that people like wanted to take revenge for are pretty awesome.
Petty revenge. Poop on all their heads.
Poop, 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 poop.
There were a number of answers, like at Kieran Andrews and Mindance6 on Instagram, who were just like, if I'm stressed out, I would fly. It's very like it, and I think that's kind of part of my answer. I think I would agree with that. Like, it's very meditative, probably, to fly.
I mean, that's what all the kids talk about. Is there's nothing better than flying. Every single time they morph a bird, they mention that.
A lot of people also agreed with me that there's got to be ways to like save money or make money even. So Matthew from Facebook says I might as well make the most of it. I get famous on YouTube making challenge vids of smashing my beak into shit at 200 miles per hour until I eventually die doing one of them. The death video gets 1 billion views before it gets taken down. Leave all the money to my GF.
Aww.
Nice, Matthew. That's great.
Okay, how about this one? AliBear1110 on Instagram. I mean, sneaking into outdoor concerts, plus there's plenty of place to demorph once you're in there if there's a lawn. I mean, accurate. I mean, that's basically the plot of number 5, isn't it? Or number 10?
There's a bunch of times, like this, the goof of number 10, they're sneaking in for the outdoor concert.
Yeah.
The goof of book 17, they're seeing the opening of Planet Hollywood. Like, there's a bunch.
Probably my favorite, like, financially related one is from @HelloPuns, who says, if the rule of if the morph feels full, then so do you when you demorph is canon, which I think it is, even though some would argue it isn't, you could just save food money for other stuff and live off Z-space calories.
Hello Puns did our cardstock art. We maybe still have some of those available, or maybe this is going to get edited out.
I like John Mazzarella's suggestion because they would just steal a drone. And like, the image of a peregrine falcon, like, riding a drone fills me with great joy.
I mean, I don't know if it's riding a drone, but yeah, I get you.
Like, the peregrine falcon's the size of the drone. How else would it steal it? Put it in its bag, McKill? Come on.
You're not wrong. @YesOkPhil says, barrel rolls. And also check out restricted places like Area 51. I do like also the super petty ones. Richard from Facebook, I would poop on my neighbor's car.
It's very good.
It's enough of that fucking shit. Oh, but also thank you everyone who contributed to that.
Thank you so much for all your poop jokes.
Yeah.
It's even better when you guys make the poop jokes, and that way we don't have to write the poop jokes.
Got us so fucking randy. Just got us so ready to say all the dirty shit we needed to.
Our last segment is...
Predictions!
Predictions!
Braden, why don't you hit us with some predictions for Animorphs number 32, The Separation, a Rachel book where, if I'm not mistaken, it's the one where she morphs into a starfish.
This is correct.
Okay, well, first off, we've got our tagline, everything changes, but not quite like this. Rachel Drode.
Drode? Okay.
Be mean. No. Yes. No.
Am I in a fever dream right now? What is happening?
The finding of the sword. Hero's journey. Rachel, good guy. Drode upset. But for how long?
So for those of you who do actually come to the podcast because we have a newbie, I think Braden is saying the Drode will be in this one. And
yes, the Drode is in it. The Drode will present Rachel with a offer that is perhaps difficult to refuse, probably having to do with violence. Maybe it makes life easier for her or her fellow Animorphs. Probably has her giving in to her baser natures. And then she goes with it for a while, then gives it up, or it's her new bit. And she's just hangs out with the Drode from now on. And Rachel doesn't live in the books anymore.
The biggest clue I can give you, Braden, is remember, her parents are separated.
Oh, are they gonna do it again? Or her dad is like, hey, you sure you don't want to live with me? You can come live with me.
Divorce 2, Electric Boogaloo. It's a double wedding.
Also, I was looking for the cover of this, and in Google Images, one of the top results is this picture in a meme that says, in a meme that says, girls be talking up a big game in text, but once you get them in bed, they be like, I don't understand.
Okay, that's like the starfish sex move where someone just lies there.
Yeah.
And doesn't do anything.
Is that real? Now I feel like Tessa's teaching me things about sex that can't be real.
I've fucked some starfish.
You know what Tessa can teach me about, though?
I can teach you about where you can find more of our stuff. Which you can find more of our stuff on our podcast page at collectivelegacy.org or on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, or Facebook.
Remember, you can also subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever your podcasts are distributed.
I like these weird voices that we take because for some reason it makes me feel less like a wombo.
Wombo combo. You can also show your support for our show by subscribing to our Patreon page, patreon.com/DORKBAJIR.
We offer sexual favors for patrons, like access to our assholes, mouths, and boy pussies.
None of that is true.
But no, we offer special bonuses for patrons, like access to our asshole, mouth, and boy pussy.
Boy pussy, great.
If we get enough patrons, we will release the forbidden ASMR channel link.
We offer special bonuses for patrons, like access to our Discord server, Animorphs essays written by us, and much, much more.
We like to give a shout out to our patrons at the Dork-Bajir level or higher by giving them a sexy little...
It's not always sexy.
Big shout out to Shanna, the third, the middle morph in the separation.
Steam Driven, the fourth Starfish Girl morph on the separation cover.
Shout out to Anyanka, the middle morph on book 28.
Max Sanicut, the second morph on... No, let's go with the third morph on Animorphs number 31, The Conspiracy. It's very good. Look it up. It's so good.
Greg Della Posta, the second morph, or the second picture on the first book, The Invasion, where they took a real boy's face and then did that horrifying drawing where he looked like a robot.
Martha Urquhart, the fourth morph on book 15, The Escape.
Andrew Vila, the original Marco model.
Michael Armenta, the hair that Marco got cut off for the cover of book 10.
Mariah Wamby, buff Wolverine Rachel.
Zachary Vaudo, the fact that they changed the Tobias model like 3 times and it was actually the same model as the Jake model. For the Fanimorphs, my name is Mikhail, the second morph in the Animorphs cover where Mikhail morphs into a responsible adult.
I'm Tessa, and I'm Cassie's half squat on the cover of Megamorphs 3 Elfanger's Secret.
And I'm Braden. I'm the weird picture of just like unmorphed Jake on the very first book.
And this has been Fanimorphs ... The Dork-Bajir Chronicles. It's 4 dots because they always put 4 dots.
It's like an ellipses, but then the sentence ended, so there's a 4th dot.
That's because that just means there's more. Tension, Tessa.
Hello everyone, my name is Jared, and this is Two Nerds in a Basement. Once a week, me and another nerd watch one of the over 70 movies put out by Marvel or DC Comics over the last 50 years, and talk about them for far too long.
Can we just take a moment to address the fact that Howard the Duck looks like Martin Sheen?
You just want a Jimmy Olsen torture scene, right?
Something. Don't just shoot him in the head. Like, string him up by his toenails and just go to town on him.
And he's just got this scratchy voice. It's so annoying.
What's our solution to nuclear warfare, 10-year-olds?
It's like, I want to be a witch. I want to explore the black magics, and you get the aesthetic of your dreams, right?
I went straight to the boob grabbing. Hang on. Let me get there.
Brought to you by
Collective Legacy,
a podcast network.